Hi YouTube friends! So many people are looking to stream games these days, but they don't know how to set up a basic stream. Today I want to show you how to set up a dynamic OBS gaming live stream using nothing but free software. Now I'm going to show you how to create an overlay and labels, set up your basic scenes, and add games, audio, and a camera, and even create an awesome stinger transition. It's really easy to do and it doesn't take very long, so let's get right to it! Likes and comments are super easy things that you can do to help push this video to a wider audience. So take a second down below and let me know how I'm doing, and while you're there, why not subscribe if you're not already? Those things are totally free and they really do help me continue to make content that helps you. So thanks. Let's start with a simple professional overlay so we can use it with some labels for subscribers and donations. To create this, we're going to use Pixlr E. There's a link in the description below and it's totally free. Here in Pixlr, we're going to go ahead and create a new image, and we want this to be the same size as our live stream, so 1920 by 1080 if that's what you're streaming in. I'm just going to name it overlay and click create. Then I'm going to go over here and select the gradient tool. I'm going to come up here and click this and select this box right here. You can see it goes from black to transparent. And then I'm just going to go ahead and drag it up from the bottom to the top. Now I'm going to select this arrow in the top left-hand corner, and I'm just going to grab one of the corner edges, hold down the shift key and drag this down to the bottom. And that looks about right. Now I'm going to select the shapes icon on the left. We'll go up here to the top and select this box here, and we'll drop this down and select our shape. I'll just click this plus shape right here. Then all we have to do is drag our shape out. If we hold the shift key, we can make sure that it is asymmetrical. And there we go. Now I'm going to go up here and add our outline, and I'm going to click our box and uncheck this so our center is gone and we just have an outline. Now I'll go into styles and I'll make our outline just a little bit thicker. I'm going to go ahead and add a shadow to this. And you can do that by adjusting the blur and the distance and the direction and everything else to make it look exactly how you want. You can change the opacity. And once it's set up how you want it, go ahead and drag it down here into the lower left-hand corner, or somewhere down in this lower area that we created. And I'm going to go over here to the right with that layer selected, and I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to drag it down here on the bottom to the right a little bit, and I'm going to go up and select shape and just change the shape. And these shapes are going to represent our subscribers and our donations and our members, or whatever you want them to represent. So just select shapes that represent that. And I'm going to select the heart, and I'm going to duplicate it again, move it farther to the right. And then I'm going to go ahead and select another shape, and we'll select this star. Then I'm just going to space these out at the bottom. I'm going to go up to File, select Export, and then Quick Export Page as PNG. And then we can just browse to the location we want to save it and click Save. Now our overlay is saved. Now I'm going to go up to File and New Image, and it's basically going to be the same size, so I'm just going to change this. And I'm just going to call this camera mask and click create. Now I'm going to go up and select the color for our shape, in this case white. I'm going to drop our shape box down and select the shape that I want my camera mask to be. You can use literally any shape that you want. This will be a really cool outline to your camera. So I'm just going to select this one right here, and I'm going to drag it out and let it go. Then I can use the arrow keys to move it around, get it all centered up on the screen, go to File and export as PNG, browse to the location and just save it. And now we have all of the assets for our camera and our overlay ready to go. Cool. Now let's create a quick transition for our streams to move from one scene to another. In DaVinci Resolve, we just want to go ahead and create a new project. We can name our project and click create. And the first thing we want to do is go to File and then Project Settings and set this up to how we live stream. So 30 or 60 frames per second and our actual resolution, and click Save. Now we want to go over into Edit, and we want to right click on our clips and select Create Fusion Composition. And we can name our fusion composition, or we can just set the time frame for our fusion composition. In this case, our stinger is going to be 2 seconds long, so we're just going to create a 2-second file and click create. And we can just drag this down into our timeline. And then we just want to select the Fusion tab. Here in Fusion, we can move this over to the right. And we're just going to drag a background on here, and we'll connect our background to the media out. And I'm going to go over here and change our background color by clicking here and just selecting the color we want. In this case, white, and click OK. The next thing we're going to do is make sure background is selected and just click this transform button right here and make sure that the transform is selected. And over here in the inspector panel, we're going to go to settings and click motion blur. Then we'll go back into controls, and I'm going to adjust the aspect up to make this box more square. And then I'm going to adjust the size up as well. And I'm going to rotate it so our corners are at the top and bottom, left and right. And then just adjust the aspect a little more so we have equal space all the way around. Now I'm going to put my playhead right in the center of the composition. And I'm going to go up here and click this little diamond button. It puts a little red dot there. That adds a keyframe that centers our white box. Now I'm going to move the playhead all the way to the beginning of the composition. And I'm going to use our center X and move our box all the way to the left off the screen. So now when we move our playhead, we can see it moves to the center. I'm going to move our playhead all the way to the right, and I'm going to go ahead and move our box off the screen to the right. And of course, this adds another keyframe. So now we have 3 keyframes: the beginning and the middle and the end of our animation. So I'm going to set it to the middle again, and I'm going to go up to the top here and select spline. This puts our spline box on here. And I'm just gonna click on it so we can see it, and click this button right here so we can see everything. And we'll select this and we'll click here. And then we're just going to adjust our little handles here. And then we'll select the bottom one and adjust this handle here. And we're just adding a little S curve to our animation. And this means it'll speed up, stay in the center a little bit longer and slow down, and then speed up again on its way out. It just adds more dynamic animation to our stinger. If we click play, you can see it zips in there, pauses in the center a little bit, and then zips out. So now we can hide our spline. And I'm going to just go ahead and draw a box around our background and our transform, and right click on it and copy that. Then I'm going to right click in open space and paste. And I'm going to select our background, and I'm going to change the color of this. We're going to change it to blue and click OK. And then I'm going to center my playhead, and in the transform for our blue one, I'm just going to adjust the size down a little smaller, but we still want it to fill the whole box. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect it over top of this other one. So now we can see our blue boxes there. We'll move this around over here. So now when we click play, you can see we have our blue box in the center with our white outline. That's exactly what we're looking for. Let's drag in an OBS logo right here. And I'm gonna copy this transform and click paste. And then I'm gonna connect our logo to that, and we'll connect this right here. It adds another merge node, and we'll put it right in the center of our composition. And we'll select our transform, and we'll adjust the size down a little bit, and we'll move our playhead all the way to the beginning. If we select the other transform, we can see where it is, and we'll just move this over all the way to the very edge of the screen. And we'll just check the animation as it comes in. That looks pretty good. We'll go all the way to the end of the screen, and we'll do the same thing. We'll check where the location is on that, and we'll just move this out all the way to the edge of the screen there. And this is going to give it a relatively similar movement to our boxes, so it doesn't look totally out of place. And if we click play, we can see this running just exactly as it's supposed to. Really simple and easy to set up, only takes a minute or two. All we have to do now is go down here to deliver, and we'll put our file name in. We'll browse to a location where we want our file to be saved. Then we want to select QuickTime and uncompressed. And then we want to select BGRA 8-bit. Make sure our resolution and frame rate are proper. In my case, 1920 by 1080 and 30 frames per second. But if yours is 60, you want to have that set to 60. Then we want to make sure that export alpha is checked, and we want to select add to render queue. Then we just need to render it out by selecting render all. Then we're going to flip over, and we're going to go to the shutter encoder. The shutter encoder is totally free. There is a link in the description so you can download it. And we're going to use this to convert these files, which are larger, to much smaller files that are easier for OBS to use. So all we have to do is go ahead and drag our stinger file in here. We're going to choose the function VP9, and we're going to go to advanced features and select enable alpha channel, and then start our function. And this converts our file to a very small usable format. And if we look here, you can see how much smaller it is, and we're ready to go. Awesome. Now let's put the stream together in OBS. Right here to the left, we have our scenes. We can create multiple different scenes for serving different purposes, like starting soon and be right back, our game scene, our main scene. In sources, we can populate those scenes with assets like cameras and audio and video and things like that. To the right of that, we have an audio monitor, which is going to show us the audio assets that are in each of our scenes. To the right of that, we have our transitions. And then in the center of the screen, we just have our preview window. So let's go ahead down here and right click on our default scene and rename it. And we're just gonna call this Start Soon. And we're gonna populate this. We're gonna click the plus under sources and we're going to add a text. And we'll call this Start Soon text and click OK. And we're going to change the font and I'll change the font size. And then we're going to go down here and just type stream starting soon and we'll make our font uppercase. We'll scroll down a little bit here and we'll change our alignment so it's center aligned, and we'll add an outline and we'll just adjust the outline size, make it a little thicker, and we'll go up here and we will add a box to the back of our text. So we're going to click here and change the color of that box. I'll make it this yellow color, and we're going to change the color of our text by clicking here. And we'll make this a blue color. And there we go. So now we have our box. We'll just make it the size we want. And we can right click on this and go to transform, and we can center it in the screen. Now I'm going to click the plus and I'm going to add a media source, and we're just going to add a background video to this. And you can get your background video from anywhere or create it yourself. It's just something that's going to add visual interest in the background. So we'll name it and click OK. And then we'll browse to the location of our file. And once we find it, we just click open, and we want to loop this video and click OK. Then we need to drag it underneath our text. And I'm going to add one more thing. I'm going to click the plus and I'm going to go in here and add a color source. And I'm just going to call this BG color and click OK. And we have a black color source. So I'm going to move this down below our text. And then I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm just going to stretch this box into the size that I want by holding down the little dots. So now we have our stream is starting soon scene. What we're going to do is we're going to go over here into our scenes. We're going to right click on it and we're going to duplicate it, and we'll call this next scene BRB for Be Right Back. And then we're going to go into our Be Right Back scene. We're going to right click on our text and we're going to copy it, and then we're going to right click again and we're going to paste the duplicate. And you can see now we have starting soon text 2. So we're going to delete the original starting soon text. We're going to right click on starting soon text 2 and rename it to Be Right Back text or BRB text. Then we're going to go into the properties and we're just going to change the text to Be Right Back, and we will make it a little bigger and center it, and then we're going to adjust the size of our black box on the outside, and now we're good. We can go back to stream is starting soon, works great. Be Right Back works great. We're going to right click one more time, duplicate our Be Right Back scene, and we're going to call this stream ended. And we'll go in here and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to copy the text and then we're going to paste a duplicate, and we're going to delete the original. Then we're going to right click and rename our text, and we're going to call this stream ended text. Then all we have to do is right click on this, go to properties and change the text, and we'll just change it to stream has ended. Then all we need to do is resize it, and then we can center it, and then we can just drag the edges by holding shift to adjust the size of our little black box around the edges. And there we go. So now we have our 3 static scenes: Be Right Back, starting soon, and stream has ended. Next, I'm going to click the plus and we're going to add a main scene here. And I'll just call this scene talking, click OK. Then I'm going to click the plus under sources and select video capture device. And I'm just going to name this camera and click OK. Now I can drop down the resolution FPS type and select custom, and I'm just going to select 1920 by 1080. Then I'm just going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and check this box to use a custom audio device, and I'm going to select my audio device, which is my Cam Link 4. We're all set up, our camera's good to go. So now I'm going to click the plus under scenes again, And I'm just gonna call this scene game and click OK. Now under sources, I'm gonna click the plus and select image. And I'm gonna call this image overlay and click OK. Then I am going to go ahead and browse to our overlay image and click open. And now our overlay is in there. Awesome. Click OK. Now I'm going to click the plus under sources once again, and I'm going to select media capture device, and I'm just going to select add existing and select the camera that we already put in and click OK. And then I'm just going to grab the corners here and shrink it up and place it where I want it to be. That looks good. And I'm going to right click on the camera under sources and go to filters. Then I'm going to click the plus and I'm going to add image mask blend. Then I'm going to browse to the source of our image mask and then select it and click OK. And there we go. Our image mask is in there. And you can see what this looks like. Has nice, cool ripped edges. Now, if I go back to our main scene where we already added our camera, you can see it applies the filter to that as well. So what I'm going to do is click the plus and go to media sources. And I'm just going to click add existing and we'll add that background that we used for the earlier scenes. And I'll drag it below. And there we go. So now we'll go back into game and I'm going to click the plus and we're going to add a game capture. And I'll just click OK and OK again. You don't really need to change anything here as long as you run your games in full screen. And there we go. Our game is running. And as you can see, the full screen game just pops right in. So I'm going to go ahead and change where my audio is coming from. So it comes through my monitoring device, in this case, my headphones. And that way we can add game audio. So then I'm going to click the plus under sources and go to audio output capture. I'm going to call this game audio and click OK. Then I'm going to drop this down and select my headphones and click OK. And now you can see that we have our game audio in the audio mixer. We'll just reorganize these so that the game capture is below our camera and our overlay. And there we go. So all we need to do is add our stream labels. And to do that, we're going to go into stream elements and we're going to click new overlay. And 1920 by 1080 is correct. So we'll click start. And I'm going to click this plus down here and go to static custom. And we're going to add an image. And I'm going to go to set image right here and then click upload in the top right. And then I'll just drag the image that we created on here for our overlay and click upload. And then I'll just go over and hover the image and click submit. And I'll just click here and go and set this to 1920 by 1080 so it's the same size as our stream. Now we're only putting this image in here so we can get our text placed properly. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. There's our overlay, it looks good. And I'm gonna click this plus. And I'm gonna go to labels and I'm gonna go to subscriber, latest, and then latest subscriber. And then you can see it appear at the top. I just need to drag it down and put it in position next to one of our icons. And there we go. And then I'm gonna click the plus again and I'm gonna go to labels, tips, latest, and latest tipper. And I'll just drag that down next to this little heart icon. And to add our last one, I just click that little plus again. Go to sponsor, latest, and then latest member. And then I'll just drag this down next to our star icon. And that looks great. That's exactly what we're looking for. You can do fine adjustment on these by just having them selected and using the arrow keys to adjust them really small amounts. And then we'll save it and we can give it a name. And I'll just call this label tutorial, click save. And one more thing I want to do, I'm going to go up here and click on layers. And I want to go to our image and go ahead and hide that image since we already have it in our scene. We don't need it here. We were just using it to place our labels. Then I'm gonna go up and click save again. And then I'm gonna click this little keychain thing here, which copies the link to this page into our clipboard. Then I'm gonna go back into OBS and I'm gonna click the plus under sources, go to browser, and I'll just call this labels and click OK. Now in the URL, I'm just going to paste the URL that's in our clipboard. Under width, I'm gonna put 1920. Under height, I'm gonna put 1080. And then click OK. And there we go. We can see our stream labels are in there and they look fantastic. Now the last thing we need to do is add that transition we created. So we're gonna go over here to transitions and we're going to click this down arrow and select add stinger. And we don't need to name this, but we can if we want. We're gonna call it easy stinger and click OK. Then I'm gonna browse to the location where we saved our easy stinger. Make sure we select the WebM version. Now I'm gonna drop this down and select frame. And in our frames transition, we're gonna put 30. since it's a 2-second clip and we filmed it at 30 frames per second. Then I'm gonna go down here and I'm going to select the audio fade style as crossfade, which means if I had the same audio in 2 different scenes, it won't get cut off. It will just fade all the way across. Then I can preview the transition to make sure that we see the A changing to B while the screen is blocked. It looks good, so we're good to go. And now when we switch scenes, we have an awesome transition. We can go from one scene to the next. Everything is all set up to have your first live stream as a gamer. Pretty awesome. Now you can just click go live and you're streaming to the platform of your choice. It's really that easy. If you want to see another simple stream build with some other cool techniques, you should check this video out. Big thanks to the channel sponsors. There are links below so you can check them out. I couldn't possibly do this without them or you. So thanks. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks that can help make you a better YouTuber or live streamer, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Feyrer Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.